Welcome back to another episode of Inspirational Journeys of the Best Minds. I'm your host, Hala Kassim, and today I'm thrilled to welcome Elie Hawa to the podcast. Elie's background as Vice President of Buying, Planning, and Logistics at Majid Al-Futtaim speaks a career defined by visionary leadership and groundbreaking results. With over 18 years in brand management, strategic planning, and logistics, Elie has played a crucial role in securing franchise agreements that have transformed market landscapes, specifically in the Middle East. His work has consistently positioned brands to break new ground and create real impact, and today we'll pick his brain on what drives his success. Beyond that, Elie is a true champion of digital transformation, always looking to innovate and drive growth. His approach to welcoming change and challenging the status quo inspires everyone he works with. Welcome to the podcast, Elie. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Hala, for having me. It's my pleasure, honestly. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Of course. So, before we dive deeper into your career journey and leadership roles, I want us to go back in time for a moment. Where did you grow up, and did that environment shape who you are today?
Oh, okay. What a great question. I grew up in Lebanon. I'm Lebanese. I studied in Lebanon. I grew up in Lebanon. I did my BA in Lebanon. And did it shape my personality? Definitely. Living in Lebanon during this situation and what we've been through, definitely it gave me a lot of values. It gave me a lot of vibes that today I understood. In the past, I didn't. And as many Lebanese young guys, I wanted to leave Lebanon at the time. I wanted more. I was dreaming big and I wanted to achieve more. And like you're never satisfied with what you have. But definitely later on, when I came to Dubai, and I thank the UAE for this opportunity that gave me the great opportunities. It's the land of opportunities. Definitely, I understood more and more with maturity what I've learned from Lebanon. It gave me a lot. Being a Lebanese, as many know, that we grew up with nothing, with no backup. We had to arrange for everything. We have to build our own career. We need to get our own living. We had to do it ourselves. And this gave us a lot of, as we heard a lot lately, resilience. It helped us to grow big. It helped us to keep on moving, to fight for what we need in life, because we didn't get what we have today from anyone. We had to build it our own way and shape it our own way. We overcome a lot of challenges. We don't see challenges, honestly. Sometimes we don't see it. We just want to overcome one challenge after the other. So all of this vibe and personality, I thank our childhood and our country, beloved country, Lebanon, for giving it to us indirectly and made us achieve what we have done so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's really insightful and it's always interesting to see how our roots can shape who, we become. Was there a specific moment or opportunity that set you, on this path?
Yes, to be honest, like when I left Lebanon and I came here to try, I was looking at the top businesses in the UAE and I wanted to study or to continue to pursue my journey in finance. And this is how I came to get to knock the door on the Shalhoub group, because it's a group that I always was proud of, and coming from our region, and I wanted to explore more and how this family has grew up their businesses in the region. So they inspired me a lot, to be honest with you. And a great HR recruiter has redirected me, and he said, "Listen, I think you have a bigger opportunity if you start your career in retail fashion rather than finance. You have more doors to grow and more room to grow." And this is how I started my career, honestly. Like, I call it a coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences or chances or by chance. And this is how my journey started.
Was there, and what was your initial reaction when they first, put the idea in your, in your head, it's like someone else pointing it to you and saying, hey, I can see you being really good at this. And it's something that you never, I guess, thought about, when you were at that age. So was it something exciting that you started to think more about, or were you hesitant on stepping into retail?
Not at all. First of all, one, as part of the personality that we talked about, we wanted to dream, we just move on. So I didn't realize, or I didn't put it as an image, like would I do it, would I like it or not? And as a positive person, I always see what is in common. And this is one of the things that I will be talking about. Like, I always look at the positive side of it. Like, I always notice, like, I can be in retail fashion, I can be in the analytical side, I can do the reports, the analysis that I studied at the university and I'm good at. And I always try to see what's in common and would I grow.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems just from, the few minutes that we've talking that you do have a very, open-minded spirit as well towards chance and towards opportunities. And that also reflects your positive personality and mindset, which you've, touched on for a little bit. That positive mindset that you have, is it something that comes naturally to you, or is it a skill that you've, worked on throughout the years to maintain?
Definitely being positive has been always within me, but it has to be developed. And I believe, it's my personal belief that every person has this side in him or in her, but it's up to you how to grow it. Like, and I always said, one time my manager asked me at that time, like, how you can be that positive in life. I said, sometimes what helped me to be that positive is how grateful I am to life. And even when we grew up, like having our father coming back home under the bombs or during war is something that I was so grateful for. Coming from that background and having the opportunity to be in the UAE among the best experts in every field is, you should be grateful for. So, and with life and with experience and with maturity, I always tend to look into things from a positive point of view. One of the people who inspired me in life was telling me, like, tomorrow you're gonna face tomorrow, and tomorrow is coming, whether you're in a positive mood or with a smile, or it's coming with a nag. So it's always great to stay positive, because when you're positive, your mindset will be set free to be able to understand the situation, figure out the bottlenecks, overcome challenges, and enjoy every moment in your life. Because life is great if you want to consider it great. It is up to us to make our life better. It's up to us how to make to find opportunities. Don't blame it on others or on life or on companies or on your manager.
Yeah.
It's us who decide our life, and it's us who shape it. So with a positive mindset, we can create a better life for us and for all the surrounding around us.
And so, thinking back to those early days, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them?
When I grew up, it was the biggest challenge was to figure out life and to figure out what I wanted in life and how to dream big. That was the biggest challenge. And when I came to the work place, the challenges were to understand multicultural environment and people coming from different cultures. People have different beliefs, different values, different norms, and honestly, every or both challenges I was only able to overcome by being positive and just pushing myself. I'm an extreme extrovert, by the way, so that helped me a lot in my life, because that helped me to open up, accept a lot of mistakes I've done and learned from it, because I didn't reach to where I am today, whether at personal level or career level, without doing a lot of mistakes and being judgmental in the beginning. And then I accepted this problem and I overcome it. Uh, this is the only way to overcome these challenges, is by trying. Don't stop trying. Don't stop trying, and fail fast. To be honest, one of the biggest advice I've learned and I would like to share with everyone: fail fast. That's fine. It's fine to make mistakes, but learn from it and move on. And try. Keep on trying until you know what you want. And you will know. if this is the right thing for you, because it will, your eyes will sparkle, will your eyes will shine when you know and you're doing what you love and you love what you
Yeah,
do.
and that's very powerful. You know, those lessons can truly shape us as well. So, but moving forward, so as you started to gain more experience over the years, what would you say are some of the most important leadership lessons you've learned?
Look, the biggest leadership lesson I've learned is like lead a team as a father. Lead a team as a father is the biggest way, because if, let's try to compare, although despite there are million books talking about leadership and the different leadership styles, etc., let's simplify it. When you lead as a father, it summarizes it all. Number one rule as a leader, you need to care, and a father cares, and you care a lot about your children, and that in the workspace, which would be team, your team members, your peers, and whoever is within your team. Because number one, you have to care, and you have to trust. I always said that trust is the base of every functional team. And you have to understand that, like, your kids can be different, with different personality, with different vibes, with different attitudes, and one size doesn't fit all. So you have to change and play different leadership styles with different team members. And as we talked about diversity, we all talk about diversity, but we don't understand it. Like, diversity is not like coming bringing people from different genders, from different ethnics, or different whatever. It's about as well different characters. I cannot manage a team with different characters by doing one way or another. So I have to be different, and I care, and I need to connect, like the father has to connect with their children. I need to know them really well, and they need to know me really well. And it's fine to be vulnerable. They need to know what challenges I'm overcoming as a leader, and they will help us, and believe in their talents. This is the biggest lesson I've learned, and I've wrote about it one time. Like, one of the biggest challenges I faced in my life, my team had helped me a lot to overcome it by just believing in them. I've learned it the hard way, despite, but it was very successful, and it was a great lesson for me as a leader in the business. Just believe in them, care about them, trust them, and communicate with them, because you cannot get to know them if you don't communicate with them, and talk to them not only about work related. It's great to know, like, who's getting married, who's happy, who have a challenge, to help them out, because we spend more hours at work, more than we spend at home.
That's true. It's a very intriguing and interesting. You know that you mentioned that leader should in some ways emulate a father as well, and it makes a lot of sense now when I think about it. So it is gonna stay with me for a while as well. But going back to you, is there someone like a mentor or anyone who's been around you, who's influenced your leadership style?
To be honest, there are many. I never had one person who was yeah, who was so close to me that helped me or another. But I think along the way I was so blessed, to be honest, Hala, to have worked with a lot of amazing people who I've learned a lot from. Some were amazing leaders, and others were not that amazing, but I've learned a lot from them. Because I always, one time we had a discussion, and I told you that there are a million books to tell you how to become rich, but there is none that tells you how not to become poor. There are a million books that tells you how to become a great leader, but very few that tells you how not to become a bad leader or a poor leader, or whatever the word is. So, and one of the comments I had, like, along my way, along my journey, I had a lot of great people who taught me amazing learnings, and everything I told you now is what I've experienced. Was it from one person, one leader? No, it was from different leaders. Like, I had many CEOs who helped us how to connect a team, others who helped me how to overcome challenges, others helped me how to think big, and led me along the way. And the first turning point in my career was because not my direct manager, but the senior leader at that point, who just saw me doing stuff outside of my scope of work because of my passion. I'm a very passionate person, and I don't get stuck with what I'm supposed to do. And that attracted his attention, and he asked my manager what this guy does and why he's looking into this problem. He said he just asked, like he wants to help, and he had some time, and he said, "Let me do it for you guys." And this is what attracted him, and he picked me up and he said, "I want you to come with me to do a buying." I said, "Buying?" That was a big thing for me. He said, "Yes, I want you to do with me. Sit beside me. I'm gonna teach you." And then I believe at one time he appointed me to be the brand manager of high-end brands. And I said, "But I'm not ready for it. I'm not good at it. I don't know the brands yet." I was like in the very early stage of my career. He said, "I will teach you." And this behavior has helped me to do the same with my team. And every person I see that they have talent or they have the potential to grow or they have the passion to do it, that I never hesitate to spend as many hours as they need to help them reach to their goal. Because there is no better feeling when you see someone who's not relative to you believes in you, and this will inspire you not only within this career but across your life, and this will lead to create amazing people, human beings, because when you get the support or the help from someone you don't know maybe, or you know, that will make you a better person, and you will offer help to some other people, and this is how we build a better community, and this is how we build great countries, great nations.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I think how generous you are as a leader also reflects, how confident and secure you are in your abilities and how comfortable you are in extending that to your team members as well.
Yes.
Because once your team members grow and succeed, it also grows on you too. So I think it's a very, like healthy dependent, relationship as well that is.
Yes, Hala, allow me to add one more thing. Do these things regardless if the rest or your team or your peers will appreciate it or not, will be grateful for it or not, will learn from it or not. Just do it because you reflect your own values in life. And you will see many employees might not understand it. Many colleagues might not understand or appreciate your support. That's fine. It's totally fine. Do the right thing. And one of the learnings I had in my life, if I don't know what to do, just do the right thing. If you don't know which decision you need to take or what action you need to take, just do the right thing. And if we think of it from a human being perspective, being good, respectful to each other, that's the right thing. Regardless if you appreciate it or not, just do it. I'm sure it will teach them a better lesson later on.
Absolutely. And I think we might have already, tackled this question and you've shared an angle of it, but how did you start applying these lessons in your work, especially in such a large scale and dynamic organizations and teams as well?
Uh, there is not one answer. Sometimes it's trial and error. Like many people I had many team members within my team who were difficult. Let's say it's difficult or hard to convince. And those people who taught me the biggest lessons in my life to be a better leader, because it's not that hard to manage great talents and great people, but sometimes as well much very talented people can have a hard character or a challenging character, and those people who taught me the biggest lesson in my life, and those people who taught me to get out of my comfort zone and try other methods to get the best out of them, because I always believe the leader is our main job is to get the best out of our team and to give them the support they need to shine and create set them up for success. That's what I always believe our job is, and we hire people to tell us what we need to do. I believe as a leader that I would love to have people who tell me what I need to do as a business or as a leader, and then we work together as a team. So, and people who were hard to convince were the biggest lessons to me, and the who shaped me up to be a better leader. And that's why even with other peers or colleagues, they ask for my support to mentor people who are hard or hard to work with. For me, it's not hard or not. All what you need to do is to get to know the people and to know the motives behind their behavior and to understand what they are afraid of, and is it a defensive mechanism, is it not, what they are trying to do and what do they want to do. And many leadership, I believe, like we are all leaders since we are young. Regardless if you have one team member or not, leader is to be able to convince others to do things, as simple as that, and to get the best out of them. And I'm sure if you have a sister or a brother, you have to convince them. You always ask for their best, and you try to tell them what you think from your point of view is the best thing for them, and what do they deserve, and how they do it. So decision making, you do it since you are a child. Every day you do a lot of decisions, regardless how important it is or not. But this, we live it. Not only when we reach to big positions, you live it. And honestly speaking, I was a better person, and I reached to what I reached because I always had in my mindset the mindset of a leader. I didn't need the position to influence people around me. I always do it for the sake of the people and the community around me, and I had to take decisions for their best. I had to speak up and share my feedback, and honest feedback and constructive feedback, and things that can be helpful for you, Hala, for example. Even if I don't know you, I don't mind. Nothing hesitate me or stop me from sharing things to make you a better person or a better human being, or listen. We need to listen as well. That's another thing. It's not only about influencing others, but as well to listen and hear you, because we need to learn. I need to see my blind spots. And this is what was a turning point to move fast within my career.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's really valuable insight, and you're emphasizing that as much as it's valuable for you to help other people around you and build them up, but how important is it for you as a leader in very senior levels to continue
And
learning
many
as well.
leadership, first of all, every leader or every human being has a purpose in life. And you need to always service this and serve this purpose. You need to serve this purpose because that's what gives you the energy on daily basis, that gives you the power, the motive to go every day to work and get things done in the best way possible. So that's number one. How important it is for us as leaders or non-leaders, listening is a key. Listening is a key to be a successful business woman or man. Listening is to be a great partner, even in your personal life. If you don't listen to your partner, you don't listen to your family, you need to listen. But as well, there is, I always say, it's not about hearing, talking and hearing. It's not about this. It's about what you say, how you say it, and how you listen, and what to listen to. You should always allow your team or your family members to come and tell you what do they think of, how do they see you, do they see a change, regardless if it's good or bad. Life is not always about if it's good or bad. I was bad and now I'm better. No, maybe you can be good and now are you great. If you were great, are you at the best phase of your life or not, and what do we need to be. And this is one of the questions I always hear, like, what is your feedback on this one out of 10? 9. How can we make it a 10? And not only how can we make it 10, how can we make it the best. Never surrender, always dream big. Don't put ceilings in your life. The goal should not have a ceiling. The objective should have a ceiling. So keep the ceiling to achieve more and more and to know where you're going. But keep on building, keep on raising the ceiling higher.
I mean, yeah, I mean, really, great to hear someone in your level also talk so generously and at the same time in a very humble way too. And it seems like helping people has always been something that motivates you, in every stage of your career as well. But what has generally, been pushing you forward? What gets you like going every morning?
As I mentioned, serving my purpose is what keeps me dreaming big, achieving more, and learning more. So what drives me is connection with people. Like, I know my source of energy. Usually I get my source of energy from people. That's number one. So I always like to be connected with people, and I always want to achieve more, not because something I understand. To be honest with you, uh, I think big, and I think I always bring new ideas to the table because I always like not to do and to follow routines in my life. I'm not a routine person. I like to keep on changing. And what made me love the retail fashion business or the retail business is because it's a constant change. It keeps on changing. The seasons change, the brand changes, the products within the brand keeps on changing, and that's what keeps me up and running. Like, what's next? What's going on to happen? What's happening in the retail business? What's happening in the logistics field that keeps on changing? Like, as I said one time, like, we used to have one problem or one disruption in the logistics world. These days, we have five disruptions within a year. And before, we used to have one disruption every 5 years. So, this continuous change and challenges, and that's what keeps me moving on. And I like these challenges and not predicted problems that you're going to see, or opportunities as well. It's not about the problems that we need to overcome, the opportunities. And this is what keeps me up moving, because I don't like the traditional feedback. Like, if you're a leader but you're not wearing a suit and a tie, if you're not so serious, you won't be a successful leader. I don't believe in any of this. That's not true. Not true at all. The How you look doesn't predict who you are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and if I don't follow the protocols that we used to hear, and one of the worst statements I've ever heard, and my team knows it really well, this is how we used to do it, or this is how we told how to do it. I don't like this. We question everything every day, and if we don't see an impact or a reason that we all believe in, we change it. And I like to look into these norms, and I like to change it. And this is how I did it. Like, especially in the beginning of my career, one of my biggest challenges was my character. Like, being that person who's down to earth, who's approachable person, approachable leader in a workspace where it was known like this position has to be serious, gets into the room without saying good morning to people, or he says it in a very uh, basic way, like good morning, and moves. Oh, you will lose the charisma. That's not true. That's not true at all. I don't believe in it. And if, in my opinion, this leadership style will vanish in the coming years, and especially with the new generation. And especially that maybe my generation didn't question why we're doing this and who told us that this is the right way to be a leader or an aspiring leader. We need to question these things and do it right. And as I said, we need to understand, like, every 5 years we are managing a new generation. Generation are changing much faster, Hala, than it used to be in the past. In the past, maybe every 5 to 10 years we can consider this generation as one. These days, every 2 to 3 years you can consider, or maybe every year. A 21-old teenager is so different than 20. The 20 years old is so different than 19. So, and they have different values, they have different vibes, they have different beliefs. We need to keep on changing. That's why many leaders has failed in the past or during today, when we see people like they are not anymore known or successful, because they resist to change. They resist to adapt and to accept new things or new ways. And this is a key learning. We always need to be ready to change, and we always need to have in our strategic thinking bottlenecks or challenges that can happen. Look at the world today, Hala. Like, every day we have a problem or a war somewhere, or a problem in the shipments, or imagine you didn't plan for this, or you're not ready to accept your business will go bankrupt. And these challenges what keeps me motivated every morning to go and try to see how to plan for it, how to prepare our teams for plan A, B, C, D, and E in case something happened, and keep one plan that's for unpredicted occasions that might happen. How can we overcome? Because don't forget, in our business, we manage inventory, we manage logistics, we manage sales, so, and new brands and new openings. So you have to always have a backup plan, and don't put the business at risk.
Yeah. I mean, they always say that change is always constant, and you have to,
True.
have that mindset as well to adjust whenever anything goes wrong or any new plan comes into play. So being open to that seems like a very valuable insight and lesson as well.
Yes.
I think our listeners will find this next question especially valuable, and I'm sure you would have a lot to say. But what advice, would you give to aspiring professionals who are, kind of just starting out in their career?
Okay. First of all, learn. Learn. You're starting a new career. Please, the only thing you leave at home is your ego. Leave your ego at home. Go and learn. Listen. And the tough people you face in life is a blessing. The tough managers or the tough peers or the tough team members, whoever, those are lessons. Because usually you find people hard or not because they trigger something in you, a value, a behavior, a whatever. So learn, seek for opportunities. Don't look into titles in the beginning or salaries. Search, be at a place, choose the right manager and the right company that will develop your potential, that develop your talent, and you learn and you can grow. That's number one. And if it came with a great salary, with a great title, amazing. That's not the bad thing. You have to think big. And think big. Don't get into a place and set your own rules at the beginning. Learn. Know yourself. At the very early stage of your career, you need to understand who you are, what you like and what you dislike. Maybe you know it, but vet it. And vet everything you hear. Because not everything you hear is right. Experience it yourself. Don't be afraid to get into places that might look so big for you or you don't have the experience to do it. I don't, and I have, I'm not trying to share theories here, but I've done it myself. Like I've done buying for great brands before having the great experience. I've done logistics before I had a lot of experience in logistics. Once you have the right mindset and you have the right leadership, then you can do it. That's a talent. Maybe that's a blessing I had. I had the blessing of being able to do it or understand different fields with and succeed in it and do a great business and a great savings to the business. But I've learned this because I've never said no in the beginning to try new stuff and to try new things. And when I was appointed, and this was my learning, because if I said no, because I said no when I was appointed a brand manager for high-end brands, because I said I don't know enough. And my manager who told me, no, I will help you. I will be there for you. If I said no, maybe I didn't reach where I am today. And this is a learning. Don't do my mistake. That's why I'm telling you, please try it. And what would happen? You'll fail? What's your biggest fear in life? Failure. Why you don't do stuff? Because you're afraid to fail. Don't worry. That's not a failure. That's a learning. And don't bring with you the bad vibes or the bad behaviors you had from your childhood that we heard in the past, the bullying, or people will talk badly about me. Listen, your battle, the war is not at that part. You will win the war when you reach to an amazing positions. And if you don't try enough, you don't fail enough, you will not get the experience needed. So please keep those behind you. And this is what I call the ego, and move on and dream big. When you move on, dream big. Don't be happy by stability or I'm in this company because it's very stable. I'm happy, or after 5 to 7 years I will get this position. No. My indicator is the learnings. As long as you're learning, you're at the right place. As long as you're surrounded with people who wants the best for you and will build a great career path for you or development plans, you're at the right place. But if you're as a person you're not happy, that's fine. Check why you're not happy. Is it because you're staying late at work? That's not a good indicator. But you're not happy because you're not learning a lot, you're not moving at the right direction, you're not doing something you're really passionate about. Okay, move on. Change, fail fast, and move.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of mindset, I would say, is really necessary. especially as you're starting out. And failure, for lack of a better word, comes in many different shapes and forms. But just being able to, turn that into a learning experience, like you mentioned, is key. It's the
True.
key takeaway from this. Well, unfortunately, we're nearing the end of our podcast, but to end things on a light and fun tone, we always like to ask our guests if you win a lottery and money isn't a factor, what will you do with your time?
It's a great question, honestly. And I don't know if I have one answer for it, but maybe I will enjoy life more by exploring every city, every culture, and get to know it, not only visit. Get to know every culture in this world that we are grateful to have, but I wasn't lucky enough to know, because I'm sure I will learn a lot, and I'm missing a lot at the moment to learn better practices and to be a better human being and to be a better leader in my life. So I spend more with nature and with people from different cultures, because that's the biggest learning we have, because our diversity and our differences is a blessing. It's not a problem, in my opinion. It's a blessing, because you're great in many aspects and I'm greater in other aspects or whatsoever. And when we share these values and our experiences, when we share, will turn this world into a better world, I'm sure. Despite life is not fair, despite the problems we have, despite life will never be out of bad people or whatsoever. Regardless, we can stay positive. We can turn every place we are in, whether it is our apartment or our city, our country, or whatever, our region, a better world by being a better human being.
I mean, I think this is a great note to end on, and I think this message, we need it more than ever. Thank you very much for sharing your insights and story with us. I know our listeners will take so much from this conversation, and I wish we could spend more time because I know you have a lot more to share. And it's been wonderful having you on the podcast with us today.
Thank you so much, Hala, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I hope our listeners will I will inspire them a bit, or it will help them to learn something. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so
Of
much.
course. And thank you to everyone watching or listening today, and see you next time.